Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here for the second surprise reveal of F1 2020 car reveals. Now, just like we saw from Haas at the end of last week, Mercedes have brought out the livery for 2020, but obviously again not their 2020 car. That'll get revealed in a few days. But yeah, a quick one before we jump into this. So apologies, this video didn't go live yesterday. I was actually at work when the reveal was on, and it's like an hour and 10-minute stream, so I haven't been able to go through it all and get everything for the information for this. But yeah, really, I don't think anyone was too surprised for the most part about this car. I think one of the only sort of big surprises was obviously the Ineos splashes of red around the car, which personally I'm quite a big fan of, I'll be honest with you. I know a lot of people have just gone, oh, it's a Mercedes, there's no surprise to it, everything like that. But ultimately, people seem to forget that sponsors, obviously they want to be associated with Mercedes, and if Mercedes suddenly go around changing everything on their car, it won't really, general viewers of Formula 1, people that aren't sort of in-depth fans, then won't be able to associate it with that. It is all about brand recognition. At the end of the day, that's why, teams like Ferrari, if people see a red car in Formula 1, it's a Ferrari. At the end of the day, that's why teams do that. That's why they stick to a fairly normal colour scheme, at least for quite a while, and especially towards the top of Formula 1, obviously, because people, therefore, know who they are. But yeah, an interesting couple of announcements obviously coming over the last couple of weeks, actually. Jamie and I made the podcast about Mercedes, talking about their future in Formula 1. Now, they've actually come up with a couple of contract agreements. AMD and Ineos, the two logos you can see on your screens, are two of the big ones that they've announced, and they are, I think, both 5-year contracts in Formula 1. So obviously Mercedes clearly aren't giving up with F1 anytime soon. They're clearly putting some longer term plans in as well. But yeah, that's obviously interesting to see. They announced this partnership with Ineos as well, and obviously they are quite a famous company. Personally for me, I know them mainly from the Eliud Kipchoge, obviously sub 2-hour marathon that they ran about halfway through last year. That was an incredible achievement as well. And I think actually Mercedes did retweet Eliud Kipchoge's, response to that car as well. If I just find it again on their Twitter feed. Yeah, the partnership between Ineos and Mercedes is a game changer. The F1 will be on high level for season 2020. I can't wait to see. So certainly an interesting one on there as well. But yeah, this is probably going to be an interesting venture. Ineos are known for obviously really getting everything down to the finest of details. They're a very, very scientific company, everything like that. It's all about marginal gains, percentage gains, and that is kind of what Mercedes do in Formula 1 at the end of the day. They've both, at least from the outside, look like they've got very, very similar sort of strategic minds in a way of, to achieve victory, you achieve perfection at the end of the day. So obviously that's really, really intriguing to see as to how well that will work. But yeah, it definitely seems to me like a very, very clever idea at the end of the day. But yeah, having a look though at the livery, though it is for the most part a Mercedes. Like I said, that didn't really surprise me. I'm not too sure why people thought, they're going to suddenly change their design. Personally, like I said though, I do like the splashes of red on this car. Now I know a lot of people have sort of had different opinions on it at the end of the day. But yeah, personally, I do quite like the red splashes. You have got it on the top of the car in the air intake, and then also on the side pods on the front wing. Obviously, a couple of Ineos branding logos, and very, very identically Ineos as well, obviously, because the black on silver, although personally I do quite like it. You can see in a couple of the pictures, obviously you've got the Petronas logos on the sides and the number 44. It definitely, the white on red does look quite cool in my eyes as well. And, it's always that thing with Mercedes of, you just got to make a little subtle change here and there on the car as well. Personally, I'm a big, big fan of the fact, obviously, they have kept the red 3-pointed star as well, obviously, in memory of Niki Lauda, who obviously they lost last year, and obviously was a big, big part of the team as well. So yeah, really, really nice to see. Personally, I would have quite liked to see those red little bits here and there had been in obviously in memory of Niki Lauda, but obviously the sponsorship as well. Personally, I'm gonna think it's both at the end of the day to keep myself in a happy little bubble as well. But yeah, really nothing too surprising from Mercedes. A lot of the sponsors are the same. They've never really had a car that's loaded up with sponsors. Obviously, you look at Ferrari, and they've just got sponsors absolutely everywhere. But Mercedes, you know, they've only really got Ineos, AMD, obviously they've got all of their three-pointed stars around the car as well, and obviously you've got a Tommy Hilfiger, obviously Hamilton does a lot of work with as well, and then obviously a few other sort of smaller sponsors as well around the car. Petronas obviously is another big one with the Mercedes Towers in Malaysia. You know, they definitely need a Formula 1 Grand Prix back in Malaysia there. We can see a big Ineos logo on the back of the car as well. So obviously we saw from Haas, they still had obviously their logos on the back of the car. But yeah, that is, I always like the back end of Formula 1 cars, you know, those, especially the 2017 onwards cars, you know, with the really big rear tyres. They do just look mean at the end of the day as well, which is obviously really cool to see. But unfortunately, Mercedes, they didn't attach another document to this. They didn't give you, obviously they've left an hour-long stream on Twitter, but like I said, haven't got all the time in the world to have a complete sieve through that at the end of the day. But yeah, personally, it would have been nice to have a bit of an information document like we got with Haas last week. Personally, I quite enjoyed going through that and analysing that as well. But there we are though, guys. That is the Mercedes F1 2020 car reveal. Like I said, apologies, it is coming a little bit late. Ferrari should be revealing their car as well today at the time this video was being made, so hopefully there'll be a video on that either later on today or potentially tomorrow morning, depending on whether I get the time to sort out a video as well. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching this video nonetheless. Do get yourself subscribed if you're new around here, and hopefully I will see you guys next time for more F1 2020 content.